The 1990 Orkar Coup was one of Nigeria's most infamous failed military uprisings. General Ibrahim Babangida, then head of state, narrowly survived the attack, while Lieutenant Echendu, the officer at the heart of the operation, played a role that would leave history asking a single question. What if he had fired Babangida? Major Saliba Mukoro and Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Nyiam were deeply involved in the planning, with Orkar joining later in the process shortly before the coup. In this edition of Dark Stories, we reveal a shocking event that could have ended the life of former head of state, Ibrahim Babangida. We'll also share the untold decisions, secrets, and mistakes that led to the failed 1990 Orkar coup. Watch till the end, because this video will change everything you thought you knew about the Gideon Orkar's coup. Don't forget to subscribe for more dark and untold stories from Nigeria's political history. On April the 22nd, 1990, a group of army majors and lieutenants attempted an uprising against the military administration of Babangida. Major Gideon Orkar led these young officers. Lieutenant Echendu was one of the major key officers of that coup. His mission was to implode Dodan Barracks, and as an armored vehicles expert, dislocate all armored vehicles, secure the Dodan Barracks perimeters in order to allow the infantry entrance, execute and/or capture the president. He was given this assignment because he lived inside Dodan Barracks and tactically knew the logistics and operations of the environment, including the electronics, communication, and security operations. It all started when a group of officers headed for the FRCN radio station, Bonny Camp, Dodan Barracks, Ikeja Cantonment, and Ojo Cantonment, primarily to get additional heavy-caliber weapons and active duty soldiers, as well as seize these locations as they bootstrapped the operation. Lieutenant Orkar Coup of 123 Infantry Battalion was on duty at the radio station. Second Lieutenant A.B. Mukoro was also on Armored Corps official duty at the radio station, but was not initially involved in the plot. Lieutenant Orkar Coup arrested him and most of his armored guard detail. Thereafter, Major Mukoro gave the arrested Armored Corps officers a pep talk and recruited most of them into the scheme. Lieutenant Echendu reportedly grabbed an armored vehicle from the State House and drove to the radio station. This may have been the commotion that first alerted Babangida's household. When he arrived there, he and Mukoro were then sent back by Major Mukoro in a convoy to attack the residential quarters at Dodan Barracks. Captain Empere, who was actually a military police officer, reportedly took one of the armored vehicles the co-conspirators had secured from the radio station at Ikoyi back to Ikeja Cantonment and used it, almost single-handedly, to practically take over the cantonment. He is said to have shot at and maneuvered around all opposition until he ran out of fuel. His main target, however, which was to get a hold of keys to the main battle tank transit shed, failed. This failure to secure control of or neutralize the main battle tanks and get additional light tanks at Ikeja Cantonment is thought to be the primary reason the coup eventually failed, because those same tanks were later used to provide superior firepower in support of loyal troops when General Abacha bounced back. Captain Dakolo was an instructor at the army depot in Zaria, so he was able to approach the cantonment gate without suspicion, whereupon he allegedly opened fire on the guard detail. At Dodan Barracks, several tanks deployed on the grounds were technically demobilized through the removal of firing pins. The assault on the main living quarters, using infantry and 2 armored vehicles from the radio station, driven by 2 lieutenants, Mukoro and Echendu, began. When certain movements were noticed, the ADC to the president, Lieutenant Colonel Usman K. Bello, came out to investigate. He reportedly tried to climb into one of the tanks, which, unknown to him, had already been disabled. He came out and tried walking alone toward the radio station, where he was shot and killed in unclear circumstances. Captain Kasim Omowa evacuated Babangida from Dodan Barracks via a secret channel to a location in Surulere, where he stayed for some days while the heat remained. Echendu watched Babangida escape in a Peugeot 504 vehicle, but he didn't strike. He wanted to capture him alive and be tried. The radio station in Lagos was regained by loyal troops, and there was a brief announcement by Lieutenant Colonel G.T. Zaidan, followed by a broadcast by Lieutenant General Sani Abacha. Within days, Major Gideon Orkar, Captain Harley Empere, and other officers were arrested. Subsequently, the military tribunal, chaired by Major General Ikeja Cantonment, was instituted, and Orkar with 41 others were convicted for treason. They were all executed by the firing squad on July 27, 1990. After the coup failed, Lieutenant Sunday Echendu avoided arrest and flew to the United States for many years, and later became recognized for his humanitarian work and leadership. According to interviews, he spent about 7 years on the run before settling in the United States, where he made a home for himself with his family. Major Saliba Mukoro, Lieutenant Colonel Anthony Nyiam, and civilian supporter Great Ogboru also went into exile too. Lieutenant SOS Echendu explained why he didn't kill Babangida during the failed 1990 coup. In a 2014 interview with Sahara reporters, in quote, "I wanted him captured alive and tried. I wanted the nation to see him and read his crimes during his trial, so that our citizens would understand where we were coming from." End of quote. Echendu is from the Igbo ethnic group, whose restraint changed history. If he had fired, Babangida might have died, and Nigeria could have plunged into chaos. Instead, he let him live, and the story of the 1990 coup became a tale of near misses and moral choices. His decision reminds us that sometimes the right choice is the hardest to make. Drop your thoughts in the comment, and don't forget to like and share this video. See you in our next video.